Hi, I'm Cherie. Welcome to the Business Case for Kindness. I believe that all employees deserve to be treated as equal, and I believe that discrimination, no matter what the reason, can no longer be tolerated in business. Today, we're going to recap our first 5 episodes. Our first 5 episodes. Episode 1 was around Millennials. Episode 2 was Equal Rights Amendment. Episode 3, Stereotypes. Episode 4, The Pay Gap. And Episode 5, Media's Effect on All of Us. So let's dive right in. Episode 1 was around millennials. Now, millennials are going to be the majority of the workforce within the next 7 years. And millennials do not like the command control, strict father morality culture that really has been the backbone of a lot of businesses out there. This is not the type of culture that's going to work for the future. Businesses are going to need to create a culture that will engage and cultivate their employees, not yell and shame them to get them to do work. Now, millennials want an equality, a nurturing type culture, and to do that, we're really going to have to do something that really makes some people uncomfortable, and this is going to prove who's a leader and who's not. We're going to have to learn how to build trust from the ground up. Trust is not freely given the way it used to be. We need to build this if you want to be able to sustain in your business. Episode 2 was around the Equal Rights Amendment. Now, I have to say this, it is 2018 and women do not have equal rights. If you think we do, you are wrong, because the Equal Rights Amendment was never passed and added to the Constitution in 1972. Now, we need 38 states to ratify this so that we can have the Equal Rights Amendment. Just on March 22nd in 2017, Nevada passed it and ratified it within their own state. Now we need 2 more states. So the Equal Rights Amendment is unfinished business for women and for the Constitution. Here are the remaining states. The remaining states are Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Utah, and Virginia. More information can be seen and read at equalrightsamendment.org. Now on to episode 3, Stereotypes. We're going to go right into the steps that you can take to help eliminate stereotypes. You can recognize and avoid generalizations. You can avoid making assumptions or creating labels. You can develop empathy for others. In other words, put yourself in their shoes. You can respect and appreciate others' differences. You can consider what you have in common with other people. And you can educate yourself about different cultures and groups. Stereotyping is not limited to certain people. It affects all of us. We are the enemy of equality. Stereotypes are not harmless, and they are very limiting and destructive. To help fight against stereotypes, can we stop judging others and forming the wrong opinions about people? Can we have conversations and work on connecting with each other instead of judging people who are different from us? Episode 4 was around the pay gap. I was told by my management in human resources that I should never discuss my salary. I know lots of people have been told this, even though you hear people doing it, especially men. I was told that the pay grades or pay scales that are out there were definitely fair, yet I know that men came in making more money than me, even though I had more experience. This is how corporate America works. This is how they continue to have a pay gap between women and people of color, because they don't want us to talk about it. Because if you talk to your management or HR about the salary differences, they're going to try to gaslight you into believing maybe you heard wrong, so maybe you'll stop asking questions. Or they like to harass or threaten you and tell you to quit and go find another job because you're overreacting. It is now time for radical transparency. We need to stand up and talk about our salary, bonus, and ratings with our peers. And we need to ask our human resources department and management for the following: a public salary audit to prove that all people, including women and people of color, are being paid the same wage for the same work. For a public hierarchy document that shows how many women and people of color are in the different positions within the company. And investigate and publish if gender bias, racism, and sexism affects yearly evaluations for women and people of color. The pay gap is real, and anyone who wants to deny this fact can have their company submit to radical transparency to prove it false. Episode 5, Media's Effect on All of Us. Very few companies control the majority of the media in the United States. In 1983, media was controlled by 50 different companies. Now, there are 7 that are controlling the majority of information for 324 million Americans. How does this make sense? So these 7 companies that control this are Comcast and Fox, which you do have something going on there with Disney buying some of Fox. You have Disney, Viacom, Time Warner, CBS, and I've added Netflix because Netflix has become something that the majority of the United States is now watching. Think about this: 7 companies that control most of the media within the United States. So, why is this important? In 1949, the Federal Communication Commission introduced the Fairness Doctrine. This policy required holders of broadcast licenses to present controversial issues of public importance and to do so in a manner that was honest, equitable, and balanced. Under the Reagan administration, the FCC eliminated this policy in 1987. Right after this policy was removed is when Fox News, Rush Limbaugh, and other conservative media were started. Many experts believe that the removal of this policy has led to the rising political party polarization, the us versus them mentality. To help move us ahead, we have to look back at what got us to this point. And I thank you guys for watching the recap today. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments. And please remember, without kindness and respect, there's little trust. And without trust, the team will crumble. Have a good week. See you next week.